Hello, welcome back, everybody. We are going to be continuing the draft on Merfolk. So we've started over. We've got 5 bot players, and we will be drafting specifically Merfolk in this draft. So I already see a ton of really cool cards, but I'm sticking with my guns. Merfolk is what we're looking at. So looking in the starting lineup of cards, I'm not seeing any see it, take it cards. But I do see an excellent Merfolk card, Voldalian Hexcatcher. Merfolk are going to care a lot about controlling the state of the game. So out of my first 15 packs, I see a couple Merfolk. This is the Merfolk I want to take in because let's look at this. 2 mana, 1 attack, 1 defense. It gives other Merfolk you control +1 attack, +1 defense. And then you can sacrifice a Merfolk, including itself, but other Merfolk, and counter, meaning negate, meaning not allow to happen, a non-creature, so something other than a creature. That could be your enchantments, instants, sorceries, planeswalkers, artifacts, stuff like that. So non-creature spells, unless its controller plays an additional one. So you're basically forcing them to be prepared to pay extra for their stuff. I love this card, really sweet. I think it's great in my Merfolk deck. So that's the first thing I'm going to pick up. Okay, see a two super cool Merfolks to go with this. Thrasios, excellent Merfolk, quintessential of what you want. So Thrasios is going to be it's 2 mana to play, has 1 attack, 3 defense, but it has this amazing ability that you can pay 4 mana, then look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. So that to me screams, I want to just play as many lands, focus on playing more Merfolk, getting up and increasing the amount of mana. This is exactly what I want to play. Thassa's Oracle, another excellent Merfolk card. But I will let you know that we don't quite play with the cards you fully need to make this a super viable strategy. So I'm just letting everyone know that. But Thassa's Oracle, if you know it, you know. But great Merfolk card as well. But we will go with Thrasios. I'm just kind of looking around. I'd love for this unsummon to come back. It's a good return target creature to its owner's hand. It's good interaction for the board. I would also love Unclaimed Territory. We saw this in the dinosaur videos. It's good mana correction, good mana fixing for my Merfolks because looks like Thrasios is going to bring a green element to this deck, and so I'm going to need help with that. And then there's Twists and Turns, Chart of Course. Would love both of those. So we'll see what comes back, and we'll make sense of it. Oh, okay. So I'm seeing Reanimate from the Vampire video. Very good card. But I'm also seeing Parallel Lives that creates double the amount of effects, similar to what we saw in the Vampire video. And I'm seeing really nothing too crazy in terms of other colors. Look at all this black. And then I see 1 Blossoming Defense, which is probably going to end up being the card we take because we just don't see anything else really ready for our Merfolk. And so I see this Zurin Orb. It might be okay. You sacrifice a land to gain life, but we don't really know if that's really the route we really want right now. So this Blossoming Defense will be a good temporary card. So Blossoming Defense, it's an instant, so you can have it at any time. You pay 1 green, and it gives a creature +2 attack, +2 defense, and the ability keyword Hexproof, meaning it cannot be targeted by your opponent's stuff until the end of turn. So Blossoming Defense, great defensive or offensive card, depending on how you want to play this. But we will go ahead and take that card down here. All right. Well, let's see. How on earth am I gonna, let's see. There we go. All right. So out of all these cards I'm seeing a 0 mana Mishra's Bauble. That's always nice. So you 0 mana, you play it, you look at the top card of players' libraries, draw a card. Very interesting. And then we also have this Waterwind Scout, super cool, 3 mana, 2/2, and it comes in and creates a map token. Map tokens are going to be really good for us in the long run because we want to make as many map tokens as we can. So I think out of all the options here, I am going to make the map token Merfolk. And let's see what else we got. Oh, I see another Merfolk here, Seeker of the Sunlight. And Seeker Sunlight is a 1 mana one attack, one defense Merfolk, and you can pay 3 to have it explore, which is exactly the kind of stuff we want to be doing. You get more card draw, get more lands. I really like that. So let's take this one drop, Seeker of Sunlight. All right, so kind of looking through, and I see a Merfolk here that introduces the color white. I'm not sure if we want that, but it's a good Merfolk, so keep my eye on it. Merfolk Branchwalker, though, that's exactly what we want. Merfolk Branchwalker is not as good as Sig, but maybe a land that gives me white comes back. But this Merfolk Branchwalker is exactly the kind of card I would want right now. Um, Okay, so we've got a few options. So one of the better combinations in Merfolk is tapping and untapping Merfolk. And so it's between this Forensic Gadgeteer and this Kiora. Whenever she comes in, you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. And when she attacks, if there's 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you get to create an 8 attack, 8 defense octopus creature. What? That's so crazy. So as long as there's 8 cards in my graveyard, she gets to create an 8 attack, 8 defense. That's really, really good. I absolutely want an 8 attack, 8 defense octopus. Okay, look at that. Unsummoned came back, Unclaimed Territory came back, Chart of Course came back. Oh man, this Unclaimed Territory, that's so good because I've got plenty of green and plenty of blue to be playing. But this Unsummon is such a good interactive spell. And then this Chart of Course allows me to discard cards to Kiora's ability as well. So I don't really know which one I want to take. I think I need to be disciplined and take my mana fixing. Um, and yeah, I think I need to be disciplined and make sure I can at least cast all these spells. And then, really, the most likely thing out of all this is this Parallel Lives. I'll just throw it away into the corner for now. I'm probably not going to play that card. And then cards that I can play, Audacity. It gives my creature, it's an enchantment, gives my creature +2 attack and +0 defense, and gives them trample. And I draw a card whenever it goes in. It's a maybe. It's like a solid maybe. I might play that. Then Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So super cool card. That's going to be highly on a complicated scale on why this is good. This is going to be up there because you're going to need to find ways to make this good. So right now, this card cares a lot about activated abilities. And so let's see how many we've got. We've got one activated ability here with Seeker of Sunlight Exploring. You've got Thrasios' activated ability. And then you have Voldalian Hexcatcher's activated ability of Sacrificing Merfolk. And that's really it. But those are really good, and it puts 1/1 counters on things. So maybe that matters a lot. Um, yeah, maybe that matters more than this expedition map. Let's go ahead and take it. All right. And then when you've got Planar Nexus, add 1 mana of any color if we really need that. It's really the most likely thing we're going to play out of those. Oh, nice. The Forensic Researcher came back. And then this Jackdaw. We're not really in the playing, unless a vehicle really pops up that's going to be good. We're not really interested in vehicles, but I'll go ahead and take it in the maybe board. All right, let's look at this pack two. So just off the bat, I see a Merfolk here. I see multiple see it, take it cards. I actually, oh my goodness, 2 of them for sure. So we don't ask questions when we see a Mox. We take a Mox, but in this situation, I actually think I'm going to skip this Mox and take the other see it, take it card because Mox gives me black, and I'm not really playing a black deck. But regardless, I would normally take it, but I see another see it take a card of Soul Ring that gives me generic. And I think while my deck is not utilizing it as best as maybe it can right now, I've got plenty of these 3 drops that I would love to play on turn 2. So I'm going to take this Soul Ring and absolutely be happy with that. Um, See it, take it. Now I see Breeding Pool instantly. Deeproot Wayfinder is Deeproot Breeding Pool is exactly the colors I'm playing, so that's really important. And then Deeproot Wayfinder, whenever it deals combat damage, you can put lands from your graveyard into the battlefield. Wait a second, that's super good with Zurin's Orb. Oh, it's gone already though. That's tough. Okay, so not the end of the world. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to be disciplined in taking this breeding pool. I do want to really play my cards well. And now check multiple of these cards out. So Merfolk Mistbinder, other Merfolk get +1 attack, +1 defense. But then you've got Emperor Mihali. You may look at the top card of the library at any time. Just look at the top card of your deck. You may cast Merfolk spells from the top card of your library. And then whenever you do cast Merfolk, you can pay one. And if you do, create a Merfolk creature token. That's unbelievably good. We're 100% taking that. He is so good for the Merfolk deck because we want to cast as many Merfolk as we can get our hands on. Now let's kind of look around. I see a Merfolk right here, Deeper Historian. The Merfolk cards, Druids we're not really care about. It's the Merfolk have Retrace. You can cast cards with Retrace from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to their playing the other costs. That's pretty good. We really care about, especially with Thrasios, playing those lands. And so I don't really know about discarding them or how many we'll have if we're activating Thrasios' ability. And so I think in this situation, I might be looking at a Metallic Mimic. So Metallic Mimic is a shapeshifter. So you choose a creature type. Metallic Mimic is the chosen creature. So we would say Merfolk. And then each other creature we control of the chosen type comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it. So that every other Merfolk that comes into play after Metallic Mimic will get a 1/1 counter, +1 attack, +1 defense. That's super great. I also see a Lotus Petal. This is really good, but that really works really well, especially if we're making um, a lot of Merfolk tokens. All right, so now automotive or adaptive automation is a very similar card. Uh, it is you choose a creature type. This creature it would become a Merfolk, and then other creatures just get 1/1 +1/+1. So the difference between this and the other is that if adaptive leaves the field and it goes to the graveyard or is exiled or anything like that, then all of our Merfolk lose that ability. But if Metallic Mimic, they permanently get the physical counters put on them. So even if Metallic Mimic goes away, our Merfolk had already gained their bonuses. And then I see Merfolk Trickster. Whenever it enters, it has flash, so you can cast it at any time. And then you tap down a creature an opponent controls, maybe a big one they were about to swing with, and you save the day. So I do think that actually is quite a bit better than our options. Arid Mesa is very good, but we don't have any cards that really look for it. Merfolk Trickster is kind of exactly what we want when it comes to our Merfolk. Kiora's Follower. So very interesting. So if I have Kiora's Follower out and I have Forensic Researcher, check out, they both have the exact same language and ability on them. Untap another target permanent you control. So that means I can untap, tap one to untap the other, that tap one to untap the other, and you just have this tapping, tapping, tapping. So you might think, what does that matter? Well, it might matter here in a little bit if we can find the Merfolk great card. So I'm going to take it on speculation that we can hopefully find one of the best see it, take it cards for Merfolk. So it's speculative, but we're being hopeful. Now, Mox Opal, that's a see it, take it kind of card, but it matters because we need to have three more artifacts. So right now we've got Agatha's Soul Cauldron and Soul Ring as artifacts, and then we do actually have this Waterwind Scout that creates a map token, but I don't imagine. Oh, and we also have Metallic Mimic. So we're not quite there yet, but it is possibly just better because we don't really need our Merfolk and Wizard spells to cost one less because we've already got the Soul Ring and we've already got such great mana picks and we don't really need Stony Brook Banneret. So I think really what we'll do is probably take Mox Opal and just hope to get more artifacts. So let's kind of separate this out so we can see. Okay, now I see this Mist Caller, excellent card for us. So we will be, and let's just double check what Thrasios, battlefield tapped. Okay, so Mist Caller, you sacrifice Mistcaller, and then if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. So it could save us against cards like Sneak Attack from the Dinosaurs, Sorin from the Vampires. So this is a really sweet card to protect us from those things. Oh, and check that out. This Merfolk Mistbinder came back. A great way to buff up our Merfolk. And this Merfolk came back as well, giving Retrace. I don't think we will need it as much, but it could be interesting to see what happens there. And then, oh, this adaptive automation does both things. It is an artifact and it pumps our creatures. Great choice there. And then, out of these, Doubling Scenes is not really something we want to play. Asika's Chariot's not really something we want to play. But out of the two, we'll probably just take the Chariot and see what happens. And then Court of Calling, search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. That could be really good in a moment where I need to buff my creatures. So let's go ahead and take that. And then out of all these things, Rampaging Raptors is a good maybe card. Maybe it comes in if we need more playables. This cat will probably not play. Then our last pack. Okay, so we see a See It, Take It card right here. Black Lotus, probably one of the best ones you can open. So super happy. It fits into everything we want to be doing. And so let's go ahead and take that Black Lotus very happily. Then let's see what else comes around here. Okay, so I see a Flood Pitch Drowner and a Mistcloaked Herald. Mistcloaked Herald cannot be blocked. So if we can pump up that Mistcloaked Herald, it just cannot be blocked. Flood Pitch Drowner acts similarly to what we saw Merfolk Trickster doing. It's just that you could shuffle their card back into their deck as well. So that's a bit interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. That is a great Merfolk, but having another one drop Merfolk, um, uh, being able to shuffle it back into the library versus having another one drop. We kind of have plenty of two drops, and we have a two drop that kind of does that exact thing already. And so maybe at this point we just focus on the one drop right now. And oh, I see a See It, Take It card. And is there any reason why we wouldn't take it? Well, I see this Wooded Foothills that could go get us our breeding pool. I see this Glow Cap, which is an artifact. Um, I still think it's going to be better to have the Mox Ruby out of all those things. So we'll just see the See It, Take It card and we'll take it. Oh, Kapala. So spells your opponents cast that target a Merfolk cost two more. So you're making their spells even more expensive. That's great. That's exactly kind of the card we want. But then there's also the hardened skills of if one or more 1/1 counters would be placed on a creature, plus one of those would be placed on that creature now. And that really helps in our map tokens, but we don't really have too much going on with that. So I think I'll stick with the Kapala. And yeah, I think that'd be all right. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. Okay, so let's walk through this explanation. This is why I think the Merfolk deck could be really powerful, is Deeproot Pilgrimage. So whenever one or more non-token Merfolk you control become tapped. So whenever they become tapped, create a new Merfolk. Sounds fine in itself. But we have, remember from earlier, Kiora's Follower, that you can tap it to make something else untap. And then what if we choose this Forensic Researcher? Well, then we'll tap the Forensic Researcher to untap the Kiora's Follower and do that a million billion times. And each time we do that, we're going to be able to create a one. So we'll have an infinite, literally infinite amount of Merfolk. That's the highest end. The lowest end is still a good 2 mana enchantment. With all of our Merfolks attacking and doing their stuff, we will get benefits from that. One of the best cards we could have possibly opened. Okay, so I see. Why did we care about this Crucible world earlier? Because we had. I think we skipped it. Yeah, we did skip it. About some of the things that tossing lands. Oh no, the retrace. It was the Deeproot Historian. You can uh, discard a land and then play that land from your discard. But the Windswept Heath is probably a little bit too good not to play. It's a land that can go search for a forest, which can get my breeding pool. So I'll probably just snag that right now. And then in terms of what we've got going on here, I'm really okay. I really don't need the 10 mana, you could make cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. That's really, really good. But I've kind of got my synergy. I kind of got what I need to get going here. And so I think I'll just take a Herald's Horn, and if I play it, I play it. If I don't, I don't. I'm okay with that. And then, oh, a Flood Pitch Drowner did come back, so I'll go ahead and slide that in there. And then there's this Siren Storm Tamer that is all right. It's a nice blue creature, but I don't really quite need it, but I'll take it just in case, and I'll probably put it in my sideboard. And then this is really interesting. Three Tree City. So you choose a color, add amount equal to the number of creatures you control of the chosen type. So however many Merfolk we have, we get that much mana, which we should have a ton of Merfolk, and so that's the exact kind of land we'd want to be playing. Brackish Blunder is another thing. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If it was a tapped creature, create a map token. That's a great interactive spell that we want. And then in terms of other lands, you may reveal cards from the top of the library until you reveal a creature card that shares a creature type with it. Put that card into your hand, the rest of the bottom of the library in random order. A creature gets +3/+1. It's not really what we're looking for, but and this Mind Stone might just be. We're probably not going to play any of these, but out of all that, I'll probably just take the Mind Stone. I'll throw the Stomping Ground away, and we're really pretty much done with our draft. We did a really good job. So I'm kind of looking around, and I am just flabbergasted at the amount of power that we have. Black Lotus, and then we also have so many other things. So yeah, thanks for watching with the Merfolk, especially because we got that infinite combo. So I hope you enjoy it, and good luck drafting.